how to control anxiety, PTSD, and panic attacks in just 2 simple steps. Hi, my name is Dayo Samuel, and this is Audacity to Lead, where I give you the courage and the necessary insights to step out and lead your life and business in the direction that matters to you. Today, I want to quickly walk you through 2 simple tips, 2 simple steps that help you to control anxiety, PTSD, that is post-traumatic stress disorder, or panic attacks. Number 1, understand how your brain works. Your brain has been designed specifically to function in a certain way. Now, there are patterns and neuropathways formed from repeating certain behaviors, certain actions, certain thought patterns over time. In my line of work, I help people change behaviors by merging neuroscience and psychology together. One of the areas that I realize that a lot of people don't actually understand is they know so much about the mind, but they don't understand what the brain is. They practically have no idea how their brain functions. And here's the interesting thing. Right when you were about 6 to 8 weeks in your mother's womb, that is during conception, your brain was being formed. And when your brain was being formed, part of that formation was that your brain was taking in experiences, responses, behaviors, certain things from external environment. Now, up until now, your brain still takes that in. In fact, your brain uses every single thing that has happened to you from when you were in your mother's womb up until now to actually determine 3 basic responses per time anytime you find yourself stimulated by an external event or by an external stimulus. So the 2 responses are basically 1, flight, 2, fight, 3, freeze. Flight has to do with you running away from something that actually appears to want to overpower you. Fight is when you realize that you can overpower that thing, and so you attack back. And then number 3 is freeze, when you can't determine whether the thing can overpower you or you can overpower that thing, and so you freeze because you can actually determine whether you have more power or it has more power. Now, understanding that your brain uses those 3 responses to determine all of the things that are going on around you, you realize that your response to anxiety, your response to PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder, or even panic attacks fall in either of these 3 categories. You are either fighting, you're either flight or fleeing away, or you are either freezing. Think about it right now. Your brain has been patterned to function that way, and the more you behave the certain way, or the more you give the same response to certain triggers, to certain anchors, you will continually respond the same way. So what I want you to do right now is, in the comments right now, tell me, do you often fight back? Do you often run away? Or do you often freeze? I want you to tell me that in the comment right now. Tip number 2, breathe deeply from the stomach. Now, here's the interesting thing. A lot of times when people actually breathe, they breathe from the chest. They don't breathe from their belly. The difference between the chest and the belly is that when you breathe from your chest, you tend to raise your shoulders, you tend to raise your chest like this and go all that. But when you breathe from your belly, it is only your belly, your stomach, that actually expands and contracts. And if you want to actually relieve anxiety, relieve the effect of PTSD or maybe panic attacks, one very, very simple tip that is unknown to too many people is that you can use your belly breathing to actually control what is going on with you. Now, how do I mean? Put your hand on your chest right now and put one hand on your belly. So if you look at me right now, this is what I'm doing. One hand on my chest and then one hand on my belly right here. So do that right now. Yep. So when you do that, breathe in and then out. Now, if you actually watched me, you will notice that my breathing may be because of my own training and because I've practiced it over time. Regularly, when you tell people to breathe in, what do you think they do? In fact, if I actually ask you right now to breathe in, what will you do? You'll probably do like this. And that is a wrong way to actually breathe, especially when you are trying to find relief from stress, from anxiety, from PTSD, or from panic attacks. So the best way to actually breathe is to actually expand your stomach, let the air go through your stomach, go through your lungs and to your stomach. And then when that happens, what actually happens is that oxygen is released into your system. And when oxygen is released into your system, it calms down the pathways in your brain. It calms down the response of flight, flee, or fight, or freeze. It actually calms any of those responses down per time anytime you breathe like that. So for example, if you find yourself caught in a loop, or maybe you just find yourself under a sudden panic attack, you can actually just do like this. So what do? You take it in through your nose, and then you release it also through your nose. Now, you could release it through your mouth, but of course you don't breathe with your mouth, do you? You breathe through your nose. So you take it in through your nose, and then you release it through your nose, and then you do it gently. In fact, what you can actually do is to actually time your breathing. And I use a pattern of 4-4-4. And here's how it works. I take a deep breath in through my belly, and I count 4 seconds, 2, 3, 4, and then I hold it for 4 seconds, and then I release it with 4 seconds. So just that 4-4-4, that's 12 seconds, and then I'm already feeling powerful, feeling excited, feeling good. Now let's do a little practical here. So let's go ahead. Now I want you to join me while you are doing this. So take a deep breath in. Did you get that? Again, let's try it again. In. That's as much as it takes to actually calm yourself down when you are under the attack of anxiety, PTSD, or even panic attack. This is Dayo Samuel, just walking you through these 2 simple tips to actually control anxiety, control PTSD, or control panic attacks. Now, just before you jump away, let me give you a simple tip that can actually help you. So you have a smartphone, and you are probably watching this with a smartphone. Now you can look for a timer app on your phone. If you are using an iPhone, you can use an app called Chime, or you can use any of the timer apps. If you're using an Android phone, you can actually set your timer or your stopwatch. You can actually set it in your countdown that every 1 hour it should remind you to actually take a little breathing exercise. It takes 12 seconds, and you just need to repeat it just 5 times. That is 12 seconds count 5 times, and you will find yourself free from anxiety, free from PTSD, and free from panic attacks. I hope that this has been helpful. So just as I asked earlier on, what is your brain's default response to external stimulus? Is it to flee, that is to flight, to run away, or to freeze, to actually stay in one spot, or to fight back? I would like you to tell me about that in the comments below. This is Dayo Samuel telling you to live without limits. I'll see you again in the next video.